In March 2019, the United States awoke to headlines that sounded almost fictional. Hollywood stars, Fortune 500 executives, tech entrepreneurs, and powerful financiers had all been implicated in a sprawling conspiracy that revealed just how easily wealth could bend the rules of higher education. For decades, Americans had whispered about the hidden advantages of privilege in college admissions: legacy preferences, multi-million-dollar donations, and discreet, soft influence behind closed doors. But what federal investigators uncovered went far beyond the usual murmurs of inequality. This was Operation Varsity Blues, a nationwide FBI investigation that exposed a secret criminal enterprise run by one man, William "Rick" Singer, who sold access to elite universities through what he called the side door. For years, families funneled tens of millions of dollars through Singer's fake charity in exchange for guaranteed admission to schools like Yale, Stanford, Georgetown, and the University of Southern California. The scandal struck at the very heart of the American dream. It wasn't just about bribery. It was about what the scheme revealed: that the very institutions meant to act as equalizers of opportunity had been quietly corrupted, and that meritocracy was, for many, nothing more than an illusion. Seeds of corruption. 1990s, 2011. Rick Singer didn't begin as a criminal mastermind. Born in 1960 in Santa Monica, California, he grew up in a modest middle-class family. In his youth, Singer was known as a relentless self-promoter. He attended Trinity University in Texas, played basketball, and later earned a master's degree in counseling. By the late 1980s, he had returned to California, working as a basketball coach at Sacramento State and later as an athletic director at a local high school. By the 1990s, Singer saw a new opportunity: college admissions consulting. In a country where parents spent billions on tutoring, SAT prep, and extracurricular boosters, Singer positioned himself as the man who could get your kid into college. At first, his methods were legitimate. He founded Future Stars College and Career Counseling, offering seminars and personalized coaching. But Singer quickly realized that the traditional path was slow, competitive, and, most importantly, not as lucrative as what wealthy parents were willing to pay for shortcuts. By the early 2000s, he was already describing 3 doors to college admissions. The front door: admission on merit, through grades, test scores, and achievements. The back door: donating millions to a university in hopes of special consideration. The side door: Singer's invention, a guaranteed admission route through bribery, cheating, and fraud. The side door was cheaper than the back door and far more certain than the front door. It was exactly what status-conscious, time-strapped, wealthy parents were looking for. Building the side door. 2011 to 2014. By 2011, Singer had refined his system into a polished criminal enterprise. The key innovation was his non-profit shell company, the Key Worldwide Foundation, KWF. On paper, it was a charity helping underserved kids. In reality, it was a money laundering front that allowed parents to disguise bribes as tax-deductible donations. Singer exploited 2 major vulnerabilities in the admissions process. 1. Standardized test manipulation. Parents paid between $15,000 and $75,000 for Singer to rig SAT or ACT results. He arranged for students to test at centers in Houston or Los Angeles, where he controlled the proctors. His key partner was Mark Riddell, a Harvard graduate from Florida, who had an extraordinary ability to ace standardized exams. Riddell often corrected answer sheets after students submitted them, or in some cases, sat the test himself. 2. Fake athletic recruitment. Singer also bribed university coaches to recruit students as athletes, even if they had never played the sport. Parents provided falsified athletic resumes and staged photos of their children, posing as rowers, soccer players, or water polo athletes. At Yale, soccer coach Rudy Meredith accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars to list unqualified students as recruits. At Stanford, sailing coach John Vandermoer took payments in exchange for fake athletes. At USC, students were literally photoshopped into rowing or water polo scenes to bolster fabricated profiles. By 2014, Singer's network included corrupt coaches, complicit test administrators, and dozens of wealthy families. His side door was wide open. The Golden Years of Cheating, 2014 to 2018. During these years, Singer's operation flourished. His clients included not just anonymous millionaires, but celebrities and top executives. Hollywood connections. Felicity Huffman, the Emmy-winning actress, paid $15,000 to have her daughter's SAT answers corrected. Loughlin, best known as Aunt Becky from Full House, and her husband, designer Massimo Giannulli, paid $500,000 to have their daughters admitted to USC as rowing recruits, despite neither having rowed competitively. Business executives and financiers. Gamal Abdelaziz, a casino executive, paid $300,000 to get his daughter into USC as a basketball recruit, though she never played basketball. Douglas Hodge, former CEO of bond giant PIMCO, spent hundreds of thousands on bribes for multiple children. Every payment went through Singer's KWF, complete with charitable donation receipts. Parents congratulated themselves on supporting education, while in reality, they were stealing opportunities from deserving students. By his own later admission, Singer helped more than 750 families cheat the system. Cracks in the system, 2017 to 2018. The scheme might have continued indefinitely, if not for an unrelated investigation. In 2017, financier Maury Tobin was being probed for securities fraud. Hoping for leniency, he tipped off authorities that Yale's soccer coach Rudy Meredith was accepting bribes. That tip led the FBI to Singer. By mid-2018, federal agents launched Operation Varsity Blues. They deployed wiretaps, undercover operatives, and cooperating witnesses. 4 months, Singer was recorded in his own words explaining how the side door worked, how much parents paid, and which coaches were bribed. On one call, he casually bragged that he had done this 1,000 times. Parents, unaware that Singer was already cooperating, continued discussing staged photos and inflated resumes, handing investigators all the evidence they needed. Operation Varsity Blues, 2018 to 2019. On March 12, 2019, the Department of Justice unveiled indictments against 50 individuals across 6 states. The arrests were swift and dramatic. Celebrities were taken into custody by FBI agents. SOs appeared before cameras outside courthouses. Prestigious universities scrambled to limit reputational damage. The public was stunned by the details. Students photoshopped into sports images. Parents joking about their children being too stupid to succeed without cheating. Coaches pocketing envelopes of cash in exchange for fraudulent recruit lists. The scandal, dubbed Varsity Blues after the 1999 football film, was bigger than sports. It was a referendum on fairness in America. Trials and punishments, 2019 to 2022. The legal fallout unfolded over several years. Felicity Huffman pleaded guilty to mail fraud, served 11 days in prison, and paid fines. Loughlin and Massimo Giannulli initially fought the charges, but later pleaded guilty. Loughlin served 2 months, Giannulli 5 months. Coaches like Rudy Meredith and John Vandermoer pleaded guilty and cooperated. Executives, such as Gamal Abdelaziz, went to trial and were convicted. At the center was Rick Singer himself. In 2019, he pleaded guilty to racketeering, money laundering, and obstruction of justice. He wore a wire, cooperated with investigators, and forfeited millions. In January 2023, he was sentenced to 42 months in prison. Cultural impact, 2019 to 2023. The scandal became a cultural touchstone, sparking outrage and reflection. Documentaries and films. Netflix released Operation Varsity Blues, the college admissions scandal in 2021, dramatizing FBI transcripts. News networks aired extensive coverage. University reforms. USC, Yale, Stanford, and others introduced new oversight procedures, though critics called them cosmetic. Public outcry. Ordinary students expressed anger and frustration. For many, years of hard work felt undermined by the revelation that wealth could simply purchase opportunity. For millions, Varsity Blues confirmed a suspicion. The American dream was never truly equal. Lessons from the scandal. The college admissions scandal wasn't just about 50 parents and one crooked consultant. It was about a system that allowed privilege to masquerade as merit. It exposed how easily rules could be bent when money was involved and how deeply inequality was embedded in higher education. It forced the nation to confront uncomfortable questions. Can true meritocracy exist in a society where wealth buys shortcuts? How many side doors still exist, hidden from public view? What happens when public trust in education is eroded? Rick Singer is in prison. The parents have served their sentences. The headlines have faded. But the lessons remain. If education is meant to be the great equalizer, then the scandal revealed a sobering truth. The game has been rigged all along. Want more true stories? Subscribe to our Real One Stories channel.